What's up, guys? DwkVideos. If you're new to my channel, I make military content. I talk about money sometimes, and today I'm going to talk about how to become a millionaire in the military. So, keynote, this is more based around people who join while they're young, preferably 30 or less. Are some of these tips still going to apply to you if you're above 30? Yes, however, it's going to be very vital that you have time to compound interest, and you'll see why later in the video. My dog is chasing his own tail right now. He's so excited about becoming a millionaire, guys, that he can't hold it back. You guys, please leave a like in the description down below for Bubba. He's such a good boy. Oh, he wants all the likes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. For today's first tip, and probably the most crucial one, is to put as much money as you can into savings and investment as early as you can. So if you're an 18, 19-year-old out of college, don't buy a new car, buy a beater, and try to put as much of your income into savings as possible. For some of us in the military, that's gonna be like 60 to 80%. Let's say hypothetically, you keep putting in 40+% into something like dividend stocks. Once you get way up there, your dividend stock return might be more than your 40% contribution every month. There's guys with like 80K profile who are making like 800 return every month. Of course, with the stock market being in the condition it is, dividends probably aren't the best way to go, but if you were to buy index funds, I do think that it's gonna have a steady rate of return. So in like 10, 20 years from now, you're probably gonna see a good compound interest on your investment. So the second tip is to apply for officer commissioning programs. Big reason behind this. If your main goal right now is to save up money, become a millionaire, enlisted makes significantly less than their officer counterpart. And in some fields, there's not a huge separation. And what I mean by that is, let's say warrant officers compared to the regular CBRN, right? And this is like kind of outside the Navy. We do have damage controlmen, but imagine this. Once you get up to warrant officer level, you're pretty much supervising. So you're not necessarily doing everything, but you're supposed to know everything. And you're getting paid a lot more for it. Hospital corpsmen, IDCs do more than nurses as it is. They're actual providers. They can diagnose and they can prescribe. Nurses cannot. However, nurses are commissioned. You see that little flip-flop? The nurse is making more than the IDC corpsman, even though the IDC corpsman has more responsibilities. If your goal is money, I would highly recommend trying to become an officer. The more money you can put into investment and savings now, like key point number one, the more you're gonna have later. So if you become an officer sooner, you're gonna have more money to put into savings. Third tip, volunteer for every deployment, and especially deployments to the Middle East. Now, by far, the nicest, cakeist duty station place I've ever been to in my life, I was on a Marine Expeditionary Unit, which is basically when a bunch of greenside dudes go on a boat with the Navy and they, float around the ocean, like 911 force, right? When I was in Kuwait and Iraq, those bases were nice as hell. Way better than the bases back here. They have huge gyms, nice like eating facilities, cool barracks, like literally all you could ask for. It's not like Fallujah back in the day. It's actually really nice right now, and the entire time it is tax-free. That's right, Uncle Sam cannot touch it. You're also getting hazardous duty pay, family separation, intimate danger pay, and then if you're like a special sort of job, you're getting other pays on top of that. So if you can get to the Middle East on a deployment, you're not gonna be spending anything. Everything's on base and everything is tax-free. My fourth tip would be to invest in real estate. Now, this is probably gonna come later on and not so much when you're in the junior ranks. However, if you become an officer early, you're probably gonna have the money to do this off the bat. Instead of like renting a place with your BAH, there's this thing in the military called basic allowance for housing. Right now I get like $2,700, $2,800 extra dollars a month for housing. Now I'm paying a landlord in an apartment because right now it wouldn't be too smart for me to buy here. But if you're in a place like Texas where, you can buy a house on the cheap, you might as well use your housing to pay off that. And then when you move PCS, you can pay someone to manage it as a landlord and rent it out for you. Tons of my friends have done this, and all that it's doing is so that you buy this house, right? You gotta live in it X amount of years if you're gonna use the VA loan. Rent it out when you get to your next base, start living in your next base, maybe buy a new house, and the entire time your house is worth the same, but someone else is paying your mortgage. By the time you get out, you're gonna have a place that you're gonna have passive income from because you can own multiple real estate options while living somewhere else across the world because you're paying someone to manage it for you. Of course, this comes with risk, so I would not recommend this to junior personnel. Wait till you start making some money. My next tip is promotion, and although there's a lot of chance that comes with promotion, you can't deny honesty, hard work, and motivation will get you promoted above other people. I was super motivated when I first joined the Navy, and I went from E1 to E5 in under 3 years in a rate that's super locked up. If you guys know, Navy corpsman is extremely overmanned, right? When I became a second classes, my peers have been in the Navy like 15 years with the waiver. I've been in like 3. If you really want it and you are showing your supervisors that you want it, it can be done. Next one, this is super important for you who use Amazon. Don't buy materialistic things. You can live a minimalist lifestyle without having every gadget under the sun. If you're one of those people who have an iPhone 10 and then the iPhone 11 comes out and you go buy it when there's nothing wrong with your iPhone 10, you need to reevaluate your spending habits. All deployment, and dudes on the ship knew me as the YouTube guy. All the times they'd come up, aren't you that guy from YouTube? And they'd see my phone. One was really into making films. If you're watching this, what's up? Super cool guy, but I showed him my phone. It was an iPhone 5, and he's like, oh, you're on YouTube. You need like this high fancy phone when you don't. I just got the iPhone 7, I think. Do not buy materialistic things. A new iPhone comes out, $1,000+. You know what you could have done with that $1,000+? You could have bought like 5 shares of Apple stock, which would have eventually grown and gave you dividends every single month. By the way, if you guys want to start stock trading, I do have a link down below. It's a referral code, just like any other website. There's really no gimmick to it other than like I get a free stock and you get a free stock. By all means, don't use it. But if you are going to use Robinhood, I'd get a free stock too, which would be cool. My last and final tip, any bonuses, just put right back into investing. You are doing fine without it. Biggest thing I can say to anyone is when there's a huge gap. So from E4 to E5, there's a decent gap in pay and you are living fine without it. What you gotta do is take that contribution and put it right back into something like your thrift savings plan, your Roth IRA, your investments, or just use it as like bonus money. And I'm not saying gamble it, but maybe buy riskier things, buy riskier stocks. Don't buy penny stocks, that's a scam, but buy riskier stocks that are on the low and you think are gonna jump up high, or just keep dishing it into dividend stocks where you can make passive income. Hopefully you guys took something out of this video. If you did, please consider subscribing down below. Also leave a like on the video and I'll see you guys probably when I'm in Texas. Go team.